Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's about being more proactive than reactive. And one of my favorite sayings, I didn't create this obviously, but it's not about how much money you make. It's more about how much you keep. And when you really understand taxes, you can actually keep more of that money.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Michael Glaspie, is a seasoned real estate entrepreneur, fractional CFO, and founder of G2 Business Solutions. G2 is dedicated to helping investors master their numbers and grow profitably. With leadership experience across private equity, lending, and brokerage, and a personal portfolio of over 130 properties, he brings real-world financial strategy to business owners nationwide. He holds an MBA from UNC Chapel Hill, teaches as a CCIM instructor. He also served as a U.S. Army Special Forces veteran. Thanks for joining us today, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dylan. I really appreciate it.
Now, when we talk about bookkeeping, accounting, tax strategy, I often say that sometimes people don't think about this until they've got a big tax bill to pay, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's about being more proactive than reactive. And one of my favorite sayings, I didn't create this obviously, but it's not about how much money you make. It's more about how much you keep. And when you really understand taxes, you can actually keep more of that money.
What came first for you? The passion for accounting and helping people with taxes and tax strategy, or the real estate portfolio and the passion for real estate?
The precursor to it all was kind of problem solving. I've always liked, Rubik's cubes and games and all of these types of things. The reason real estate really kind of accelerated in my life was because I learned very early on that you're only limited to your creativity with how much money you can make in real estate. So it definitely started in that realm. And I was doing the real estate licensed agent, got part of a property management company, so forth and so on. Even though I had a background in finance, it was the real estate that kind of elevated it. Then after a while, you start to realize that a lot of accountants they're not familiar with the industry. They don't really understand it. And so I saw an opportunity there to niche down and help others through the same pains that I went through when I was getting started as well.
One of the things I've noticed from being a licensed agent myself in Texas is you realize how much you can save in taxes, not just if you're, a 1099 or a business owner or a realtor, but if you have like a W-2 job, you can even offset some of those taxes with real estate investing and real estate related activities.
It's right. And, there's all kind of nuances to it. The devil's in the details. And so you can do these things, but you have to do them right. And oftentimes an agent might go out, or just anybody might go out and buy a piece of real estate thinking that just inherently, just because I bought it, I now get a tax discount. It's like, no, there's a process. You have to record how many hours you did it. You have to, self-manage in certain situations. You have to show proof of this. You have to have it occupied or on the market certain amount of days. There's all these different nuances that really apply. But to your point, it's available, and I feel like this I say this all the time, but I feel like real estate is the one industry where you should get high on your own supply, right? If you're selling it, go out and buy it, learn it, use it, manipulate it, because it can be very beneficial if you have the right team behind you.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, when people talk tax strategy, I'm speaking from personal experience here. I feel like it really is hard to conceptualize until you have a tax bill to pay. But I
Yeah.
also feel like because there are typically some costs, paying for bookkeeping, paying for, tax strategy or someone that's going to file your taxes for you, CPA, enrolled agent, etc. People don't really do it until they're like backs against the wall or they have a
Right.
big tax bill, right? Is there a way that you've seen just on an interpersonal level to bridge that gap from where people are able to see the value before they have the tax bill?
100%. If you're getting a refund, you're you're doing pretty well. All right. So when you start making a significant amount of money, it's hard to get a refund. You're going to start owing the tax man, especially when you're a 1099 and you're not necessarily paying those quarterly estimated payments. I will die on this hill. I think that every business owner, small or large, needs bookkeeping fundamentally. Bookkeeping. And the reason I say that is, it might cost you $100 or $500 a month, but throughout the year, you have a very clear picture of what is going to be my tax liability before it ever arises. And so now we're not worried about, oh, what's going to happen when tax season comes. We can look at it, let's just say theoretically in June, and say, all right, I actually do need tax strategy because I have a large tax bill coming. So, biggest recommendation, just get bookkeeping as at a bare minimum.
One of the things that I've noticed as far as like a common error that people make is not understanding that their situation is like not super rare. They have this idea that, oh, well, I'm in some super niche situation and I
Right.
got to figure this out on my own. Or like, I have this tax bill coming up. I made some extra money in real estate or something along the lines of this that no one's going to understand my situation. And then what I think worsens the situation, to your earlier point, Michael, is, you'll go to a CPA or some type of, tax preparer, tax professional, and they might not understand the real estate game in that regard. And so, then their feedback to you may be as a real estate investor, as a realtor, may further substantiate that bias that, okay, no one understands my situation. And so that kind of creates even further distance between that person who's that realtor, that investor getting bookkeeping, getting tax services, finding someone to help them in their niche. But as I've discovered, and as I'm sure you've lived, there's a whole, field of people out there who are dedicated to helping real estate professionals.
100%. And I'm glad you said that because I think that, we should live in our superpowers and we should leverage our weaknesses, right? But when we do leverage, we have to bring in team members who understand what we're going through and understand our industry. There's plenty of tax professionals and accountants out there who are amazing, maybe graduated from Harvard or from Wharton or whatever. But if they don't know real estate, they don't know how to help you. They don't know what to look out for. And so, absolutely, you got to find the right people. But no, there's no situation, and I have to remind myself of this all the time. But like you said, we tend to believe that our situation is so unique to us. Out of all the history of the world, I can guarantee that we're not the first one to experience anything, right? And so we should reach out and, as Tony Robbins says, stand on the shoulder of giants, see what other people have done before, learn from their mistakes, so we can move a lot quicker.
I would like to I guess back up a bit here and talk about bookkeeping and really, for folks who may not see the value in it or maybe think I can do this myself, from where I'm at. what is the value of bookkeeping for someone who may be just starting out, and that $100 to $500 a month, they may seem like that's a large expense,
Right.
What's the value of bookkeeping to that individual?
Uh, um, this is a great question. So,
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
bookkeeping is accounting. It is not just, hey, this transaction, let me just write this here. So, every transaction must be reported a certain way. And the IRS doesn't care what your experience level is. If they were to do an audit, they want to see that it was actually done correctly. So if you don't have an accounting background, you may put something together, but if you get audited, now you're stuck trying to defend it, right? The value of bookkeeping not only should be clarity, right? You should be able to understand your books very clean. It helps you save time, but it's also that compliance measure that a lot of business owners, especially when they're starting out, they're not even considering. You're a business now. Compliance actually does matter, and bookkeeping can help accomplish all of that.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned a number of different segments there. You know where every dollar is going,
Mhm.
compliance, right? And then also I would further that with, in many cases that I've seen, people end up getting into tax trouble, or not paying their
Yeah.
taxes, kind of kicking that can down the road because, errors start with something small and then snowball into something bigger. They're not exactly sure how much money they made. They may be having like two businesses that kind of coalesce or overlap
Yep.
or are even like vertically integrated, and they might be in their infancy, right? And then next year, now it's a larger business. Now it's their full time job. And so these habits start to roll together. And then, like we were earlier saying, people will often think, okay, well, I'm the only one that's dealing with this.
Right.
And then they might not pay for a couple years. When you've seen people who get into that type of position, one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm curious to get your feedback, they feel like I'm the only one going through it. And, basically, there's nothing that I can do to be helped. But there's so many people that have gone through that situation. And you can do payment plans. There's a number of
Yep.
different things that you can do. There might be penalties and interest. What's your feedback? When folks do get into those types of situations, or maybe they haven't paid in a couple years, or they owe back taxes for one reason or another. How do those situations typically happen? Is there an overall theme why these people are, you know, getting into those situations?
You hit the nail on the head, Dylan. It starts small and then it snowballs or compounds and it grows. Oftentimes when these situations happen, you know what we have to do? We actually have to stop, go back to the beginning, figure out what went wrong, fix it, and then kind of grow from there. So again, going back to the value of bookkeeping is avoiding a lot of those things. When you come and you have a large, this happens all the time. I mean, probably 3 to 5 clients every single year come in and say, "Hey, I haven't filed since 2017, or haven't filed in the past 7 years, 6 years, 5 years." And we have to just gradually grow and take it one bite at a time. And that's how all of this kind of plays out. But it's the little things I just wanted to recap back on that you're not even aware of oftentimes. For example, the question becomes, can I depreciate this? Is it an improvement? Can I write this off? And the answer is, it all depends. Yes, if, right? If you do things the right way. And when you don't do them the right way, the IRS can come back and audit you up to 7 years, is what they say. Up to 7 years. So you could have done something, waited 6 years, and all of a sudden there's like, hey, this is wrong. Now you have penalties. Now you have interest. Let's change this. But if they detect fraud, which they could do if they audit you, well, then there is no statute of limitations. They go back as far as they want to audit you.
Wow.
So it's a compounding potential risk when you're not doing it correctly from the beginning.
Now, I know that people have so many options, right? And it can be overwhelming. And, people might go online, they might try to do it themselves,
Right.
and they might feel like I've done it, myself in the past, and it hasn't been all that bad of experience, right? But what I also know is that real estate itself is very tricky and it changes like every year. And so there's tax laws and changes in regulation to where even from the previous year, your tax professional, who may be a real estate tax professional, has got to be, on top of their game, so to speak.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And so to me, as an outsider looking in, that's the real advantage of working closely with a real estate, tax pro and someone who specializes in bookkeeping is that's their job. Like I'm able to like delegate that to them. I don't have to spend a bunch of time learning about, the tax deductions that are available to me or what may not be available to me. I can kind of free up some mental bandwidth and say,
Right.
okay, I'm going to focus on selling homes or acquiring properties or wholesaling deals. And I'm going to let the tax pro do their due diligence and help
Right.
me manage my books.
Right. I agree with you 100%. It goes back to, there's so many people, I've heard this in the past, work on your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses. I believe just focus on your strengths.
Focus on your
Do what you
strengths.
do. And then leverage out your weaknesses to somebody else who loves doing that type of thing. And that's how you scale quickly.
Now, I also want to pivot here, Michael, and talk about the personal portfolio. You've got a pretty large personal portfolio, over 130 doors, right? When we talk about scaling that kind of a portfolio, I've seen it go a number of ways. I've seen people start with, wholesale deals, then graduate to like fix and flip, buy and hold, short-term rentals, midterm, year-to-year leases. But then I have also people just say, hey, if you're going to buy, start buying big. Like just buy, 30 units. I've had people tell me, look, if you're going to buy 30 units, you can't really afford property management at 30. Just go buy 50 because then you can afford
Right.
property management
Right.
and partner with someone who knows maybe more what they're doing than you do. So you might have to take a smaller equity stake, right? If you were going to start all over again, no properties, how would you start today?
Ah, great question. If I was going to start over again, all right. So in the military, we have this beautiful thing called the VA loan. All right. Zero money down. However, FHA loans and even conventional loans, sometimes you can get them at 3.5% to 5% down. So I still believe I'm working a job. I'd go out and I'd buy a multifamily 2 to 4 unit with one of these loans, either zero money or very low money down. I'd live in one, rent out the units. I'd wait 1 year and I would do it again. I would do it maybe 2 to 3 years in a row. And then I would refinance that portfolio into a commercial loan to free up my debt to income yet again to potentially do it for 1 or 2 more years. Obviously it depends on your tolerance for that patience, but I would go that route to put very little money down and acquire as many multi units as I could. Now, by year 4 or 5, depending on what market you're in, maybe you have a little bit of equity that you can leverage, but you should have a pretty decent cash flowing portfolio at that point in time. And so that's helping you save up some additional money and kind of go from there. I'm a very conservative, I've made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And I've learned that, growth isn't always good if you're not doing it right. So I would be um, very moderate with my growth, but I'd focus on one property a year and hopefully have it be multiple doors.
uh, Biggest win, biggest loss in real estate.
Biggest loss was one of my early wholesale deals. I was being ready to be deployed, and I tried to assign it to someone else. I was doing a wholesale. I tried to assign it to another wholesaler, and I had already worked out the negotiations and everything. And the seller at the time had to kick their brother out that was living there in order for us to sell the home. And I come back from the deployment to find out that that wholesaler never followed through. The brother was kicked out, and the property got foreclosed on. And I felt absolutely horrible that I felt like I started that train and I couldn't finish it. Biggest win. Biggest win is when I bought my first home. I rented out a bedroom just to another single soldier at the time. And I don't know, maybe 9 months later, I went to a Robert Kiyosaki 2-day event and they were saying something, something, something house hack. And I was like, wow,
I'm
I'm
doing
already
that.
house hacking. Yeah. I was like, I'm already doing it. And that was the light bulb moment for me to say, hey, if I'm already doing it and if it's really that simple, let me go all in on real estate. And that's changed my life.
We are coming up on time here, Michael. Any new projects that you're working on? And then as well, what's the best way for folks to reach out to your team?
Absolutely. Best way to reach out to us, you can find us on our YouTube channel. You can go to our website directly. And on the website, there's the link to schedule a call, and there's our phone number there as well. And I'm sure that might be in the show notes. Biggest project for us right now is we're really trying to push out our clear profit system and make sure that everybody understands what it is that we do and how we systematically go through helping our clients find more of those profits. So if anybody's in real estate in any sense of the word, project management, syndication, real estate ownership, flipping, wholesaling, subject to lease options, um, roof repair, you can reach out to us and we can help you out.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely, Dylan. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.